on how much counties are spending on travel vis-a-vis how much they actually make, how much they're able to generate in their own revenue. And there's a front page story as well as on page 6 and 7 of the Daily Nation talking about 13 counties that spent more on travel than they collected in revenue. If you think about that even from like a personal finance standpoint, if you spent more on travel than you made in a month, in a year, already that is terrible expenditure. And this is taxpayers' money. The leading counties, first of all, Kitui people, not sure what is going on in Kitui County Assembly. There was about million shillings spent on 14 MCAs and 2 employees to go to Singapore in the last financial year. Of course, this is according to a report by the Controller of Budget.
Yes.
And then another group of 7 Kitui MCAs and 1 Assembly employee also pocketed 7.5 million shillings to attend a workshop in Turkey. And that's just a small snippet of how much counties are spending on travel.
Yes, and the front page has a little bit of a brief of what's happening in the 13 counties with Bomet, Busia, Kericho, Kitui, Mandera, Marsabit, Nandi, Nyamira, Tana River, Turkana, Wajir, Baringo, West Pokot being highlighted on the total amount that they've spent on expenses in terms of travel and on source revenue, yani the amount of money that they've made for the county in terms of development. And I'm looking at a county like Bomet, 128.62 million is the amount that was used on travel alone. 67.7 million is what they made in terms of development. And
So they spent almost double on travel as they made in revenue.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's quite peculiar that we're looking at counties that are actually in dire need, and we're looking at Nairobi and how much it makes. Compared to travel, I don't think they used a lot of money. Some officials were actually seen traveling to different countries like Arusha and some in Dubai. Imagine using 3.2 million shillings to attend the climate conference in Dubai. The 3 Busia County executives are actually pointed there. 5 members of the Bungoma County executive pocketed 4.8 million as facilitation for meetings in Israel from September 11th to 17th in 2023. And we're looking at situations whereby the country, the ordinary Mwananchi has to go through deductions over deductions, yet most of the money is actually not going to development.
True. And of course, the counties have been very, very vocal about getting their money from the national government. But if this is how they're spending their own revenue on travel or, other expenses, then, begs the question what they'll do with government funds. Of course, Nairobi is an interesting one. Nairobi made 3.8 billion shillings in revenue, spent 590 million shillings on travel. Still a ridiculous amount, but of course not as much not more than Nairobi County is making.
First of all, I think the president should even himself slow down on the travels from Kenya to other countries. You can definitely invite people. I feel like it's way cheaper to host people right here than taking people outside the country. And Historia benchmarking, how about we get experts to come instead of politicians? You can't benchmark from politicians. They're not experts in a particular field apart from maybe legislation, and not all of them. Most are just politicians.
Now that the Kitui County Assembly went to Singapore, how much more does Kitui look like Singapore as we speak?
Story for another day, but you can actually grab your copy of the Daily Nation. Page 6 and 7 has highlighted exactly what you're talking about.